Imagine you are going to deliver an order for your work in peace. Then you are shocked that the client is your ex. Not just any ex. This is the one who gave you a complex that you will live with until your 70s. To understand where the story began and the exact cause of the complex, let us go back to the very beginning. Just do not forget to like and subscribe, and write for me in the comments that you did so. Let us start. Our series begins with John, who works in a print shop with his friends. It appears that he loves joking and laughing, as from the start of the day, he does nothing but laugh and throw bad jokes. Suddenly, his face flips 180 degrees because he sees a book in front of him, printed with the picture of the artist's son. He keeps asking who dared to do this disaster, and we learn that Sun was his old girlfriend. Since he was involved with an artist, he was surely an artist too, and they were at the start of their careers. But the media caught them. Sun sold him out in a moment and kept begging the journalist to forget this news completely because John loved her from one side. Because our hero fell in love with her more than necessary. Love blinded him, and he confirmed her words normally because she was entering a big role. After that, Sun became a global artist who made series abroad and inside the country, while John remained in his place. He worked in a print shop to spend on his mother and little brother. Anyway, John recalls these memories. He is very annoyed, not just because of the prank life played on him, but because he has to deliver her book himself because someone made it as a gift for her, and he thinks the best solution is to wear a cap so his features do not show. At this time, we find the journalist Lynn entering a room in a restaurant where a man is having dinner, asking for the legislative committee manager. He sent his assistant to her, who replies that her level is not high enough for the manager to come and meet her himself. Then she finds Sun in the same restaurant, but in the room next to them, sitting with a writer and a director, as they are begging her to agree to their series, but she tells them she cannot. She has to film another series in America for 8 months, so the writer simply says they will wait 8 months for her. In this moment, John enters to deliver the book because it is the script for the series, and they spent money hoping she would agree. Of course, the cap he wears does not show anything of his face. He leaves quickly in anticipation of anything that might happen. Let us return to our journalist. She asks the person with her if the legislative member pinned the whole mess on Seok, his assistant, and in the end, he finished him off. She was supposed to meet him tomorrow, but heard news of his death this morning. He replies asking if she is upset all this much just because she wanted to take it as an exclusive news, and says she can make up for it another time. To clarify the issue, we learn that the journalist was looking for a major political corruption case, and Seok was providing the information. But the big boss discovered the conversation and eliminated him from the world completely. Plus, they prepared a bag full of money to buy her silence too. She takes the money, dumps it into the ice bucket, pours a bottle of alcohol on it, and drinks it all. She drinks it at once and leaves before committing a crime. Then John sits in the car, annoyed by what happened. It gets worse because he finds her knocking on the window to talk to him. With total rudeness, she says to him, "Is your life so hard that it made you come while knowing I would be here? Or are you waiting for me to feel guilt?" He gets angry at her. He makes her understand that he will pretend he heard nothing, leaves her, and keeps cursing her all the way to vent his anger. Suddenly, he finds a woman appearing to him from the back seat, asking him who he is and why he took her with him. It is Lynn, and because she is drunk, she is not aware of what she is doing and calls the police to report him. He takes her to the station to clear up the misunderstanding there, and when the officer checks the car surveillance camera, they discover that she entered alone and just rested a bit, so Lynn feels even more guilt. She tells herself that she caused a death in the morning and now wanted to jail an innocent man, so she asks the officer to jail her. Then John withdraws from the place because he does not need more drama. Before he leaves, he goes back to her and gives her a bottle of juice to sober up from the alcohol effect. He tells her not to live in guilt because we all make mistakes normally. She is touched by his words, takes out her card, and gives it to him in case he needs any help to the people. The next day, John is at his print shop and finds a student entering to tell him, "I am Kim. You were generous to offer that all edits are free, so I am here to change a few things." He spends about 15 minutes explaining the simple problems in the script. John wants to finish off his friend because he involved them from the start, and he stays up all night on the script to fix errors. The only thing consoling him is that he likes the story very much and is impressed that this beauty came from him. On the last day, John leaves the print shop and finds Kim in his face asking him, "You are an actor, right? I've been trying all morning to remember where I saw this face before." He offers him the lead role in his movie. Our hero refuses because he sees that this path is not for him anymore. Kim's persistence makes him chase John for a week until he raises the white flag and agrees on the basis that it is a hobby. From the first day of filming, John hates his life because the movie is all action and jumping, while his personality is very peaceful. Not to mention the amount of injuries he got because they are filming in makeshift locations, since there is no money at all. When they finally finish, he tells him frankly that he does not want to see his face again. But he did not account for this movie turning his life upside down, as they win a huge amount of awards. Because people love it so much, they make 5 more parts from it. After 7 years, we find a new John. John has countless money, plus his own production company. And of course, he takes his friend as his assistant. At this time, his problems are completely different because he is bored of the detective role he has played for 7 years. He wishes to return to light romantic comedy roles, but unfortunately, no one gives him a chance. When he gets roles for different movies or series, they also put him in the action category. Then we find Lynn wearing a red dress and looking completely different, and we learn that she has worked at a newspaper for over 12 years. She became one of the biggest journalists in politics, speaks more than one language, and covered major events like wars. She was preparing herself to film everything live until she suffered a leg injury. She stayed in the hospital for a good while. We find journalist Yun, the head of the entertainment section, looking at her CV. They decided to transfer her there without introduction, as she is still searching for the political case she held 7 years ago. She dressed like this to sneak into the bar where all the artists appear. She discovered that the politician she is chasing has control, reaching rookie actors to exploit them for his interests. She enters the room to a woman named Yang, who works in the place, and asks her, "Do you have the video you filmed when you were partying with VIP figures?" in hopes that this changes the situation a bit. "And I am here to help you because I am a journalist." After she takes the video and leaves, she hears security saying there is a journalist in the place. She runs to hide quickly in the men's bathroom, and coincidence brings her together with John for the second time. But they do not remember each other because her look is changed and she is very tense. She decides to exploit him and climb on his shoulder to escape from the window. All that comes to his mind is that she is one of the workers in the bar, and her intentions are bad. The next day, when she goes to work, they inform her of the news of her transfer to the entertainment section, so she argues with her manager. She tells him, "I understand you are trying to hide the truth, but not to this degree." She leaves him and decides to try to the end. She goes to the awards festival to look for any chance to speak with President Lowe. She is sure he has a hand in the case she is investigating. As soon as he enters the festival and is still on the red carpet to greet the audience, he finds her calling him to ask him questions, so he pretends not to hear anything. She pushes everyone standing there, enters to stand in front of him, and puts her hand in her pocket to take something out. At this moment, chaos breaks out because John is entering the festival and thinks she will take out a weapon to hit the man. He runs to her quickly to stop her, but in the end, he discovers it is just a flash drive. Thank God. In the midst of the scandal, he trips on the stairs and his pants tear in front of everyone. Of course, people photograph him and endless memes are made about him. Since Lynn lost her last chance, she is forced to go to the entertainment section because she has no other solution. Yoon asks her if she understands anything about the field or knows actors, or even series. She says no, but do not worry. When I start anything, I work on it well immediately. At that time, the assistant informs John that they intend to make a new part of the series, so he gets annoyed. He makes him understand that he will close this topic permanently, and if they want to continue to the 15th part, they can find another actor. That way, no one sends him drama or comedy scripts. In short, there are no options available. I wish you would be satisfied with what you have, but John is convinced they do not send scripts because they think he is busy with the detective role. At this time, Lynn is in a meeting with the whole section, so everyone presents the news they have. When her turn comes, she is completely blank because she is still saying, "Oh Lord," in the field. So Yoon suggests she goes to the airport to cover the news of singer Gan returning from travel. She asks her, "Do you even know him?" But as usual, she has to ask Google. When she arrives at the airport, she finds fans doing their duty, surrounding him from everywhere, to the point she gets squeezed in the middle of them. Then one of the security guards pushes a girl very hard so she falls on the ground. Lynn gets angry and tells him, "Come on, apologize to her right now." In the middle of the fight, she does not. Notice that her bag fell. A tall, broad-shouldered young man, something amazing, comes to give her the bag himself. He keeps laughing at her because he saw her fighting with security. Suddenly, while they are sitting, she finds Gan's fans coming towards her quickly, so she thinks they intend to fight. She pulls the beautiful young man by his hand to run. In the end, the whole thing turns out to be a misunderstanding because they were coming to thank her for helping their friend when she fell. At the end of the day, when she returns home, she finds her brother showing her the video of John on the festival day. As soon as she knows he is an actor, she develops hostility towards him because he is the cause of everything that happened. At that time, John is in a worry that no one knows about. He goes to meet director Kim to give up the series they have been doing for 7 years. He tells him, "If you refuse to write the new part, this story will end from its doors." He replies that if he does not write it, they will bring someone else to write it normally. At this time, we find the beautiful young man who was at the airport entering to greet his mother with full enthusiasm. We learn his name is Hyung, and he was a former athlete but stopped because he had a leg injury. He decided to change fields and work as CEO in his brother's company, which by pure coincidence is the same press company Lin works for. In the middle of the day, Lin goes to John's office to interview him. When he sees her, he remembers what happened at the festival, and when he met her in the bathroom, he tells his assistant, "This is impossible to be a journalist. Call the company right now to make sure." Of course, when they confirm she is a normal journalist, he calms down and apologizes to her for the misunderstanding. But unfortunately, the interview also ends with a fight because he discovers in the middle of talking that she watched not a single part of his series. He feels a kind of insult, like when you study the person you came to interview, I will continue with you. She leaves him while she is at her limit. She decides to pay him back twofold and brings her brother because he follows all series and movies. She asks him to find any scandal for her about John that makes him jump in his place. In return, she will give him $1,000,001. The number tempts him, and he sits doing his research until he reaches in the end that from 3 years ago he was wearing couple stuff with one of the actresses. She publishes the newsfeed, victorious. When his assistant feels the matter is escalating more than necessary, he agrees with her that he must meet her and reconcile. They arrange a business dinner with her and Yun. Of course, as expected, they fight too. Yun gets very annoyed by the way she deals and asks her, "When you were in the politics section, did you let your feelings control the situation this much like you do now?" She feels guilt because she is right and goes to buy a TV, specifically to watch all parts of the series and learn about his character. Brings episode until she finds herself finishing all parts. Not only that, she also gets attached to the series and the character very much. The next day, while she is going to work, she keeps imagining him everywhere because she was so affected by him. Suddenly, we find him waiting for her personally in front of the company. She feels she lost her mind suddenly, and maybe God knows she got attached to him. As soon as he opens his mouth, she forgets all this because she finds him coming to apologize to her. He informs her that we can sign a contract together, that you do not publish any news about my personal life without my approval first. In return, I will let you know new news firsthand. She gets very angry because she does not like this interest-based work. She makes him understand that if I see you somewhere else, I will publish an article about you that makes you regret the day you were born. She walks and leaves him. Then we find her brother on his way to university with his friend Liam, who by coincidence is John's brother, but no one knows this topic because they are hiding it. He says to him, "What do you think if we arrange a blind date between your brother and my sister instead of them never being in a relationship before?" Liam feels it is a wonderful idea because everyone who gets close to John does so for interests. After that, John is very annoyed because of what she did to him. Plus, until now, no one offered him a different role, and it seems he has. He has a complex about this topic because his mother used to make films for adults only, and unfortunately she could not change this image among people, so she quit acting completely. Good riddance. Then the assistant offers him a new movie, but he looks a bit worried while giving it to him, and there is probably a disaster behind it. When John reads it and likes it, he goes to meet the heroine who will be with him. And here is the shock, because she turns out to be Sun, his ex. His face changes, because no matter what happens, he will never act with her again. He tells her, "I might agree to the movie, but on condition that I take double the wage you will take." When he returns home, he enters a state of depression and keeps drinking because he remembers the suffering he went through because of the movies his mother used to make, plus his conversation with Sun, who returned and appeared in his life suddenly without any introduction. At that time, Lin is in the hospital because she is very sick. She keeps waiting for a doctor to notice her until she loses consciousness. As soon as she wakes up, she finds her brother sitting next to her, telling her they did an appendectomy for you. This is just so when you are sick, you check up early. At this time, John is admitted to the same hospital because after he finished drinking, he took about 3 sleeping pills, so he got tired and lost consciousness too. After that, Yoon goes to visit our heroine and tells her, "Since you are fine, I want you to cover the news that John is here in the hospital because there is a probability he is trying to end his life. In return, if you do 10 exclusive news stories within 3 months, I will return you to your politics section." Again, she feels it is an irreplaceable opportunity and keeps sneaking until she enters his room and hides in the bathroom too. By chance, she finds Sun coming to visit him and hears his mother asking him, "Did you get back together or what?" Then Sun tries to be soft and makes him understand she convinced them to give you the same wage as me, which is very big, by the way. But it is all for you because I want things to go back between us. Then she leaves. John has reached his limit from thinking and gets up to enter the bathroom to wash his face. As soon as he opens the door, he finds Lin rolling on the floor. He holds an informal meeting and brings his assistant to solve the matter. She tries to convey to him that I just want to interview you, nothing more. And besides, Isn't it better than all the people spreading rumors that you want to end your life? He feels her words make sense and agrees to film with her because interests are mutual. At this time, we find Yoon sitting with Hung, and it is clear there is hostility between them. He tells her, "I heard you separated from your husband." She said, "Anyway, I am not interested in anything concerning you, and all that matters to me is that you deal with me within work limits. Nothing more." At the end of the day, Lin cannot sleep because she keeps thinking about the words Sun said when she was with John. She goes up to sit on the building roof to clear her head a bit. By chance, John is sitting there too and asks her, "Since you are not sick, why are you admitted to the hospital?" She is about to tell him she is sick, but does not get the chance because she loses consciousness since the operation wound is bleeding. He carries her on his back quickly to take her to the doctor. He finds the door locked from outside, so he runs to get a chair, breaks the glass, and goes down with her. The next day, before he leaves the hospital, he finds her coming to thank him for the duty he did with her. He is surprised that she knows how to thank humans normally. A few days later, we find both of them getting ready to go to the date, the blind date their siblings arranged. Of course, it is impossible for the coincidence that will happen to cross their minds. As soon as she enters, he does not comprehend that. It is really her because she is dressed up and very chic, but when she opens her mouth, he immediately realizes who she is, or feels like a bucket of cold water was poured on his head. Here the bickering begins between the two of them. He is surprised how his brother, who studies medicine, got involved with her brother, who studies acting. How is this? At that time, she feels bored of sitting with him and gets up to leave. As soon as she reaches home, she grabs her brother by the scruff of his neck, and he keeps apologizing to her and telling her, "I swear I did not know his brother is John the actor. He made me understand he works as a detective." When John returns home, he grabs his brother's throat too, but thank God the reason is different because he finds him saying, "I postponed my studies for a year to study acting." He starts a lecture that this field is no good because it has many issues, and you are supposed to be a doctor. His brother feels the talk will not bring results and walks away from him. The next day, John finds himself thinking about her, and curiosity makes him enter her page and read the news of hers. After that, Lin is in a meeting with employees and finds them showing old movies. By chance, she notices that the picture of the heroine on the movie looks exactly like John's mother. She expresses her thoughts out loud in front of them all, so Yoon catches the topic and tells her, "Make sure, because if this news is published, it will turn the world upside down." When she goes to her office, she plays the movie to confirm the resemblance and finds hung over her head, asking her, "What exactly are you watching?" She gets very embarrassed, pulls him by his hand, and they exit the office quickly. Then he informs her that the manager of the company, when he finds her taken aback by his position, he tells her, "I am just an employee, but basically the company belongs to my brother." As soon as Lin confirms that she is indeed his mother, she is very worried about publishing the news because she is certain it will affect him badly. But Yoon wakes her up from the utopia atmosphere and reminds her that this is their job. On the last day, John is in a press interview, and suddenly he finds everyone asking him about his mother and if she is really the one who made movies for adults only. It happens to him that he panics and is unable to breathe. He takes himself to a psychiatrist because he feels that the matter exceeded its limit. She explains to him that this happens because of psychological pressure and he needs follow-up and will be fine. Get out of here because the session time is finished. He exits very angry and asks the assistant to take him to Lin. As soon as he meets her in the street, he makes her get in the car so they can talk comfortably. He asks her, "Why are you annoyed? Are you embarrassed by your mother? We are supposed to be in 2025, meaning there is more openness than this." He replies to her, "Surely these things will not matter to you because you work in, God forbid, a bar. Or did you forget the first time when we met? Or will you claim that you were doing all this because you were going for a press scoop?" She asks him, "And what if this is the truth really?" She gives him a look of reproach and gets out of the car while she is upset. After that, John turns the topic of the new part of his series in his head. He feels that what he knows is better than what he does not know and informs the assistant that he agrees to participate in it. When he meets the director, he is surprised by new news that descends on him like a thunderbolt, which is that Sun took a leading role with him too. It looks like she does not intend to leave him alone. She tells him, "I left the movie just like you left it." At that time, Lin goes to meet the girl who gave her the video in the bar. She makes her understand that there is an important figure who was not visible in the video she sent her, and she is Sun because she is involved with the politician you are looking for. Both of them arrange everything together. The next day, John brings Sun to the office saying to her, "Are you crazy or what? How will we work on the same series together?" She keeps begging him to convince him that it is normal, and besides, we will pretend as if we are meeting for the first time. No one will search behind us. At that time, Lin is on the way to the company and finds Hung coming to walk beside her. He asks her, "Will you be at the match of baseball today? Because I am going too. Let us pretend we met by chance." He conveys to her in a way that he is trying with her because he likes her. As soon as Yoon sees them entering together, she frowns and says says to her, "What were you talking about?" She replies to her, "Am I supposed to answer? This is a personal thing." She walks and leaves her. At the end of the day, John informs the assistant, "I agree to continue the series, but I have a few conditions. First, no romantic scenes between us. Second, I will not let director Kim exhaust our eyes with jumping and action scenes. Third, or most importantly, if God blesses us and there is a new part, we will remove Sun from it." The director agrees to all conditions because he has no other solution. By chance, John is present at the baseball match too. When he meets Hung and sees him dealing with Lin, he feels very annoyed or does not understand why he is annoyed. When Lin sits with him to do an interview, he is deliberately replying to her with exact words until she reaches her limit with him. She says to him, "Do not get upset." Then when I improvise in the answers, she gets up from his side. He gets more annoyed because she goes to Hung. As soon as she sees him on the field greeting the audience, her eyes shine and her face emits hearts to the point that Hyung feels something is wrong. Suddenly, she gets a call from the girl who gave her the video, so she leaves the match to go meet her. She finds her crying and telling her, "Can you forget the video conversation I gave you and forget my name completely? Because a friend of mine tried to threaten them with the photos she had to. Take the money." And since that day, no one knows anything about her. Lin tries to calm her down and makes her understand. "If you explain the whole story to me, I could help you well." At that time, she clarifies to her that the politician behind all this is Lo, whom you tried to talk to on the festival day. When our heroine searches for any information regarding him, she discovers that he is Hung's brother. On the last day, we find Lo going to Sun's house telling her, "When you move to the new one, I will not know your place. Besides, what is this atmosphere of poverty you live in? You have money to let you buy a palace, madam? Or is this a type of camouflage?" She makes him understand that if you do not intend to separate from your wife, then we cannot continue together. He grabs her face hard to wake her from the illusions she lives in because the work between them is much bigger than these trivialities. At that time, John is sitting with his brother asking him, "Can I take the gifts that come to him and sell them on the internet? While you are at it, bring your mobile so I can make an account to sell from because my account closed a while ago." He confirms to him more than once that if anyone calls you, reply quickly so we can sell. After that, he goes to meet Lin because he wants to apologize to her for the words he said last time. In return, he brings a gift and gives her exclusive news that Sun will participate with him in the series, hoping she will accept his apology. But he is shocked by her reaction because she tells him, "You apologizing is one thing, and me accepting your apology is another thing. That is why I do not accept it." He spends all night thinking why someone would apologize, and the other refuses to accept. It turns out she does all this because she feels she is being pulled towards him, so she sets mind boundaries, and that is it. The next day, his brother traps him into going to meet the client who will buy the product from them, which is a pot that cooks rice. He has an important errand and cannot go. He covers his face with a handkerchief because he is supposed to meet her in the street. And by pure coincidence, this client is Lin. Because she is also wearing a mask due to a cold, they do not recognize each other. When she transfers the money, she gives him a juice box with his picture on it as a down payment of thanks because he went down in price for her a little. He asks her, "Are you one of his fans?" She replies that she loves him very much. Of course, this coincidence makes him go home flying with happiness. As soon as he goes home, he sends her a message to ensure the pot works well or has a problem. We find she got very excited and photographs the rice after cooked, and she sends him the picture. He tries to open a conversation with her, saying he is also a John fan and has many photos of him, so if she would like to take some of them. Her fingers hover to write back that she agrees, but she snaps out of it at the last moment, thinking, what is this triviality? It is not to that extent. The next day, John attends the auditions they are holding for his series. By coincidence, Yoon's brother is one of the applicants. John deals with him with some stiffness because he is holding a grudge against his sister. He tells him, "Don't you feel you are too confident in yourself while you are supposed to be a beginner?" At this time, Lin wants to meet Sun to interview her. When she tries to call her to set an appointment, she finds her hanging up, the phone in her face. So she decides to use her job and publishes news about her that makes her jump around herself, and she is the one who calls her back to meet and see what exactly she wants. At that time, Lin feels victorious because her plan is going perfectly. She tells her, "I heard you are involved with a major politician in the country, so I wanted you to talk about this topic." She informs her that she will break up with him. "What do you think about talking about John instead? Because I intend to get back to him." Our heroine gets fired up, thinking, what is this rebound atmosphere? We leave one today and get another one instead tomorrow. She makes her understand that if you do not like this, I can give you another exclusive news. When Lin returns home, she spends the whole night talking to John on the application. The next day, our hero is going to his psychiatrist and by chance meets Lin in his face. He pulls her by her hand and runs to the car asking her, "Did you come here to expose me or what, miss?" She tries to convey to him, "Man, I have nothing to do with this. I came for something else." But he is determined she came to take revenge to get her brother's right. shocked. Then she explains to him that the doctor working in this clinic is involved with artist Ma. He is very surprised because he is older than her by about 30 or 40 years. Indeed, they find her leaving the clinic and going to get in his car. Lin asks him to follow them quickly to photograph them. They keep driving almost the whole day because it is a long travel route until finally she manages to take the photos she wants. After that, they sit to have breakfast somewhere to compensate for the effort they made. Curiosity takes her and she asks him about his relationship with Sun because she saw him when she was at his place in the hospital. He gets very annoyed that she is entering personal details and asks her that they should not deal with each other again because since she entered his life, it has been upside down. As soon as Lin publishes the news, she finds the world turning upside down on her head because the veteran artist comes out announcing that the doctor who was with him is his daughter, and he intends to file a lawsuit against the journalist and her company. At that time, Lin tries to investigate the matter from scratch, feeling his words are not logical because they do not look alike at all. She thinks to herself that he might be trying, for example, to get himself out of the scandal because he is entering the path of politics too. She goes to his house to talk to him, but he refuses to open for her at all. So she takes the matter stubbornly and keeps sitting all night in front of the door until he softens in the end and lets her in. He deals with her with utmost arrogance, saying, "Since you'd not come to apologize, your apology is not accepted." Then she gives him the shock that she did not come to apologize at all, and "Please gather yourself or you will find words from me that you won't like." She walks and leaves him, so the man gets more heated against her. When she goes to the office, she hears the employees talking about Yoon, that it looks like she is trying to get close to manager Hyung. Plus, she just separated a while ago and has a son, but no one knows who her husband is. The discussion is all question marks about how she does this. So Lin silences them because they shouldn't speak in this manner. Of course, because of the scandal, they refuse her transfer request to the politics section, so she gets very annoyed feeling she is stuck in her place. Then she finds Hung coming to ease the news for her. He takes her and invites her to lunch. She tells him, "Please do not give me more attention than necessary," so a misunderstanding with no purpose doesn't happen. He replies to her that this misunderstanding is intentional, by the way. When our heroine returns to the office, she publishes a correction for the news stating that the doctor is his daughter. She finds him calling her at the same moment, telling her, "If you think that this way I will drop the lawsuit, you are dreaming." He hangs up in her face. At the same moment, a strange number calls her saying, "I want to meet you today." She takes out the nervousness inside her on him asking, "Shouldn't you let me know who you are first?" He reminds her he is John, and "I thought you saved my number." He sends her his home location to go to him there. As soon as she arrives, he asks her about her relationship with Hung because every little while he sees them together. She conveys to him that he is just my manager normally, and besides, why are you bringing me at such a late time anyway? He asks her, "What do you intend to do about the lawsuit matter? Because I feel guilt since I was with you while you were taking the photos." She starts to get tense because he is doing all this for her, and she gives it to him straight in the face, saying, "I wish every one of us would stick to their job." She is about to leave, but finds it is raining outside. He offers to give her a ride, and instead of taking her home, he takes her to the artist's house and tells her, "I brought you here to help you, so let us go in and apologize to him." So things get resolved, because if you do not do this, you will lose your job that you have been pursuing for years. She gets very angry and conveys to him, "I am ready to lose everything except apologizing to this human." We learn that Sun told her he assaults beginner actors, and he did so with more than one, and she was one of them. John understands her position and apologizes to her for acting on his own. Each of them goes back home. They spend the evening together, talking to each other on the application. The next day, when Lin goes to the office, she finds news published that a certain actor made a contract with John's company for several years. At the same moment, she finds Yoon coming to inform her that he finally dropped the lawsuit. It is clear that John is the one who convinced him. At that time, we find our hero going with his assistant to meet the businessman Lo, Hung's brother, because he wants to enter business with him in the coming period. He asks him what he thinks about managing his company from the commercial side instead of it standing still for years with no development. It is clear that he wants to drag him into a shady business path, so the assistant gets more excited than John himself. In the middle of the day, she goes to his office to understand what exactly he did. She tells him, "You are helping him get famous and get roles." He tries to calm her down, saying, "None of that is true. I tied him with a contract to ensure no one hires him again." She is very touched by his words, because for the first time in her life, someone helps her in this way. As for John, he feels he loves two people because he has feelings for Lin, and at the same time he has feelings for the girl he talks to on the application, not comprehending that both are the same person. He decides to stop replying to messages because this juggling act will not work. At that time, Lin is very annoyed because whenever she sends a message, he sees it but refuses to reply. She sends him another to ask him if he was busy, wishing he would have some courtesy apology and answer her. When she returns home, her brother asks her, "Did you break up or what? For a while you have not left the mobile, and whenever you do something, you photograph it and send it. What happened suddenly?" At that time, she gets more angry because she confirms that she got attached to him. The next day, when she goes to the office, she finds Hyung taking her to the company cafeteria. He gives her an invitation saying, "I reserved dinner at a restaurant for the two of us, and surely you understand the reason, so I hope you come." Afterwards, Hung is sitting waiting for her at the restaurant and suddenly finds Yoon in front of him. When he holds his mobile to call her, he finds she beat him to it and sent a message apologizing that she cannot come. As for Yoon, she saw them by chance in the cafeteria and figured it out herself. She laughs at him, explaining that Lin is the one who asked her to go and stop playing hard to get with me. Just because I separated from you in your hardest period due to the accident and married someone else, you do this to me? I'm trying to be nice, so take note. He remains silent because if he opens his mouth, he will give an answer that will not please her. Of course, as soon as he sees the message, he does not know how to say it, and that he lied that he is a fan while he is John, personally. In the end, he settles on telling her, "Give me time to think," but our heroine does not like wasting time. She chooses a restaurant herself and sets a date with him too. The meeting day comes. He stands for an hour confused what to wear. Exactly. In the end, fear controls him, and he goes to director Kim, telling him the story and asking, "What do you think about going instead of me? In return, I will do all the scenes you want." He feels it is a very tempting offer and agrees. When he arrives, he hides from afar, pointing out that she is the girl wearing pink over there. As soon as she turns her face, he is shocked that it is Lin. His brain cannot comprehend this strange coincidence, and that he loves only one woman. But Kim shuts it down completely, telling her, "I came today specifically to reply to your confession. Honestly, I just broke off my engagement a month ago, and I feel I cannot enter any relationship now." Of course, she is very touched and vows not to talk to him again because it is unreasonable to keep hanging herself on nothing. The next day, she has a press interview with a known artist because a new movie is coming out. She finds all journalists asking about his relationship with the girl he is involved with, although he said several times, "Please let us talk about the movie instead." She feels she reached her limit with them and interrupts immediately, asking about his role and how he embodied the character. After the interview, he goes to thank her and gives her his card because she saved him from the trap they set. He makes her understand, "I am still in a relationship, by the way. Every little while, problems happen between us, but it is normal. Everything passes with trying." She latches onto the word trying and keeps thinking, "I wonder if I should try or what." In this time, John started filming his series and is surprised that they accepted Lin's brother. He exploits any opportunity to smooth things over and make him forget what he did. But the shock is that he finds his brother accepted too and filming with them to play his role as a young man. He gets very angry and asks Kim to find any actor instead. He replies, "He is a copy of you, and therefore, I cannot miss an opportunity like this." After that, Lin has already calculated her position and sends a message, informing him, "If you cannot get over your fiancé, it is fine. I am ready for us to be friends." As soon as John sees the message, he keeps jumping in his place because he did not know Kim made up a story. Indeed, when she finishes and goes down, she finds him telling her, "Does anyone stay at work all this time? Come on, I will give you a ride." He takes her to sit by the river because he wants to talk to her and make her understand, "It seems you are going through a rejection period, and I am ready to wait for you as you want. The important thing is when you recover, give me a chance." She turns the subject into a joke because she does not want to embarrass him. The next day, when Yoon reaches the company, she finds Hung's jacket on Lin's desk. She gets very angry and takes it and goes to throw it in his face, asking him, "Did you forget that I am the one who brought you this jacket?" He pretends to be clueless. No, not. "I remember, I swear. It is just that gifts got mixed up." Then when Lin arrives, she enters to Yoon too and makes her understand, "I do not want to go do an interview with John because I became one of his fans and this might affect my honesty in the news." She feels her words are logical and goes instead of her. At this time, John gets very annoyed when he sees her, thinking, "What brought you here and where is Lin?" She replies to him that she will not come to work with you because she already became one of your fans. Looks of victory appear on his face, thinking, "Oh, really? She is one of my fans." Then Yoon catches on to what is happening and asks him, "Do you love her or what?" He tries to dodge the topic because this contains news that could send him to hell, but Yoon's intention is something else completely. She informs him that she loves Hung, so maybe they both can ally together, so each one of them takes the one they love. Indeed, she does not agree to do the interview with her, returns to the office, and makes her go to the filming site to attend with him for the day. At that time, John is fully relaxed because he is sure that Kim took a vacation and that his assistant is the one responsible for filming, but he is surprised when he finds him in his face and tells him, "You must act because Lin is coming in a bit, and if she sees your face, she will catch on and realize there is lying happening." So he enters to apply some makeup on his face, wears a white wig, and turns into a 70-year-old. Thank God the meeting passes peacefully. Then John John exploits the chance that she is attending the filming. He tells them, "I will do all action scenes myself and do not need a stuntman or anything." He immerses himself in the character more than necessary, to the point that when he finishes filming, he goes to the hospital because he sprained his leg and his back is ruined. When Lynn returns home and checks her mobile, she discovers that the account she was talking to was deleted from the program completely. She enters a state of depression and keeps drinking all night. The next day, when she goes to the office, she finds Yoon giving her an invitation to attend the premiere of a new movie. She asks her, "When you were involved with Hyung, were you not afraid he would be like his brother?" She replies to her, "I work as a journalist, and if there was something, I would have discovered it immediately." After that, when she arrives at the cinema to watch the movie, she is surprised that John is sitting on the chair next to her. To top off the coincidences, Hyung and his mother are on the chair next to her on the other side. She feels she is squeezed in the middle and does not know where to turn. In the middle of the day, she gets a call from Sun that makes her leave the nice gathering and go to her house. She tells her, "I learned that he just entered as a new partner with a known politician. It looks like they will come out of this partnership with a lot of money." As soon as Lynn leaves her place, we find her calling Lo, informing him, "I told her exactly the words you asked me to say." The next day, Lynn goes to meet the wife of the assistant who died 7 years ago and asks her, "Was he not supposed to have a brother? I notice his financial level is very high. Was he like this from long ago, or is this change new?" She explains that his level was normal until he opened his restaurant and things worked out. Our heroine is even more surprised and goes to see what this restaurant is about. She is surprised that it is a whole building and its price exceeds 4 billion, plus he paid the whole amount in cash without even loans. After that, John goes to director Kim and asks him, "Is it possible for you not to attend the series conference? Lynn will be there, and if she sees your face, she might write an article 5 or 6 pages long about us. Or for example, maybe you can disguise yourself like last time." Of course he refuses because it is unreasonable to look like an idiot in front of people because of the forbidden love John is living in. At that time, our hero finds no solution but to go meet Yoon to ask her to send any other journalist. Besides Lynn, she informs him, "I am not a box of tomatoes for you to pick from every little while as you please, mister. Make me understand what this story is exactly so I can help you." He tells her from the start of the application and the rice pot he was selling, ending with his fiancée, whom he left a month before the wedding. She spends about a quarter of an hour laughing and advises him that he must face her with the truth because she will discover it anyway. So when she discovers it from him, the matter will be a bit easier. At this time, Lynn's old manager goes to meet her and tells her, "I have a good offer for you. What, do you think about returning to the politics section again? But before you return, you must get rid of all the videos you have first." She is very surprised by this change and makes him understand, "No, thanks. I need to stay in the entertainment section a little. Since I came here, I feel the pressure decreased and the news helps people be better." Of course he leaves her while he is fed up, calls Lo, and informs him she refused the offer. After that, Lynn goes to meet Hyung because she no longer wants to string him along anymore. She makes him understand, "Frankly, you do not love me. Your eye is on another person all the time, but you are afraid to face yourself with the truth of your feelings." When Hyung returns home and thinks about her words, he feels that she is truly right because his focus is entirely with Yun. Besides, he deliberately annoys her because of the feelings of anger inside him because she left him during the hardest time of his life. When the conference day comes, Kim cannot attend because he gets very sick or is admitted to the hospital too. Our hero feels it was a godsend. At this time, Yoon gets a call while in the office that her son got injured in school and was hospitalized. By coincidence, she meets Hung, so he offers to drive her himself. As for John, he is eating himself up because he feels that Lynn is worried about him. He downloads the application again and makes an account with a different name. When he enters to talk to her, he finds her offering the rice pot she took from him for sale. He talks to her acting as a client to set an appointment with her to meet. When Lynn arrives, she finds John coming towards her and telling her, "Is it right to sell something you took from me? Or are you, not impressed by me except online only?" She enters a state of shock, unable to believe what she sees in front of her. He explains to her at that time the whole situation and that he is the same person she was talking to. As for the one she met, that was his director. He asks her to take her time until she comprehends the terrible coincidences that keep happening. He drives her home because she is not focused on anything around her. When she sits with herself, she keeps remembering all the words between them and how much she was expressing her admiration for John, the actor, freely. From the intensity of the shock feeling, she goes down to run in the street to release the energy inside her. In the end, she finds her legs took her to his house and calls to wake him up to talk to him. Then she asks him, "So you were playing with me all this time?" When he finds no response from her, and that she is unable to stand from the effort she made, he lets her into the house to rest first, and then they can talk comfortably. While he goes to get her water and returns, he finds she slept. He calls the assistant to cancel all work he has because he will not let her leave until they they resolve the dispute between them. As soon as she wakes up, she asks him, "So did you love the girl you talked to on the application, or did you love me?" He replies to her, "I loved both." She gets very angry thinking, but this is betrayal. She asks him to stay away from her this period so she can gather the events with herself. Of course, the thing terrifying her most, besides him laughing at her, is that each of them is from a different world. Plus, he is famous and all people know him, and this in itself is full of drama. At that time, she decides she must close this topic permanently. She calls John and sets a date to meet. As soon as she arrives at the cafe they agreed on, she finds him sitting at the table in the middle, and all people are watching him. She gets very embarrassed thinking, "What are you doing exactly? Why don't you wear the cap in your hand to hide your face a bit?" But he actually intends to do this to make her get used to the situation. Suddenly, he gets a call, and it is from the assistant that his mother caused a new problem. He gets very tense and enters the episode of Every Time. At that moment, Lynn takes him, and they leave the place quickly and go sit in a quiet spot. As soon as he recovers and is better, he asks her, "Why did you want us to meet?" Of course, she feels it is not a suitable time at all to upset him now, so she makes him understand. Nothing, just wanted to drink something together. When she returns to the office, she goes to vent to Yoon, saying, "I have a friend who is entering a relationship with a big artist. Do you think this is normal, or could it cause her problems?" Of course, Yoon catches the whole topic and lets her finish to the end, then tells her, "Your case is very difficult." She walks and leaves her. At the end of the day, she goes to meet John to give him the 5 tips and informs him that Lynn is afraid of his fame and he must reassure her as much as he can. After that, our heroine goes to meet John's assistant and asks him for his company's account records because she wants to see them. When she finds him refusing because this is something confidential, she conveys to him that Lo is not an easy person, and as long as there is work between them, he must be careful of any paper he might sign. After that, when he goes to meet Lo's assistant, he finds him giving him papers to sign indeed. He remembers Lynn's words and informs him, "I cannot sign until I pass these papers to my lawyer first." On the last day, John tries to exploit any chance coming his way and invites Lynn's brother to have dinner at his house, and while at it, he will practice the script with them. Of course, he spoils him and makes the food himself. Then they finish with a tour in his closet, which is all brand clothes. He gives him almost half the clothes. In return, he asks him, "Can I ask you for a favor?" Yes. He makes him call Lynn and pretend to be sick, claiming it is from too much drinking, so she comes to take him. At that time, Hung is sitting with his mother watching his old photos. By chance, he notices that Yoon's son is a copy of him when he was young, and suspects that this might be my son. The important thing is, as soon as Lynn arrives, she finds John is the one receiving her, and makes her understand that they all fell asleep from too much drinking. He makes her sit in the office to talk together. He tells her he admires her, even if there is a difference in their lifestyle, and that he is ready to change anything just for her to give him a chance. He offers her, "What do you think if we go out 10 times together? After that, decide if you want to continue or not." Before she replies to him, he finds their siblings and the assistant hiding behind the wall, throwing their ears with them. She gets very embarrassed and leaves quickly. The next day, she sits with Lynn for a frank session too, and tells her she separated from Hung long ago because his brother was the cause of the accident that happened to him. He was trying to pressure her to silence her his way because she was following the disasters he was doing. She gives her the flash drive that has all the information and tells her, "If you really intend to continue on this path, you must account for the fact that he might harm you or harm anyone close to you." On the last day, Yoon goes to meet Hung and tells him everything that happened too. She conveys to him that he is the only one who can help Lynn to reveal the truth to people. He enters a state of shock because he did not expect his brother could do something like this. As soon as Lynn reaches home, she finds a car coming to park exactly in front of her. Lo gets out of it telling her, "I just wanted to inquire from you. Do you intend to close the topic and leave me alone or not? Because anyone who annoys me, I remove him from my way immediately." She replies to him, "Do what you have, because I do not intend to be silent, like the one before me." After that, John's assistant gets a call from Lo's assistant informing him they fired him from the company management. He gets shocked thinking, "How is this possible? This is my company. Just because I handed you the management means you fire me without me knowing?" At this time, he resorts to Lynn because she is the only one who understands these details. She conveys to him that Lo does all this because he wants to control the company completely, because he wants to sell it, and it becomes a type of money laundering. And he did this with more than one production company. She agrees with him to go to the office and gather all the papers to return them together. But of course, when they arrive, they find security guards planted everywhere, and they refuse to let them even pass through the gate. As soon as John gets news of what is happening at his company, he leaves the filming site and goes there quickly. At that time, the director gets very annoyed because this is almost the 3rd time he leaves the location before they finish filming. He takes the whole team and goes after him to understand where exactly he is going. At this time, they find one of the security guards pushing Lynn, so they all get angry for her sake and start a fight. She tries to sneak in the middle without anyone noticing her and goes up to gather all files in the office. As for John, he finishes the fight and returns to the site again to continue filming. When the time comes for the premiere of the first episode of the series, John makes an excuse, takes his brother, and they go to Lynn's house to watch it together. At this time, there is a big problem because the viewing rate is much lower than the first parts. And of course, the idea that the last part closes this way is not the best thing. So John suggests to them to hold a press conference. Maybe this will move things a bit. At that time, he finds one of the journalists asking him that he was involved with an artist long ago. So did this relationship return again? He decides to turn the topic to his advantage and replies to her that the girl he loves is indeed present with them and that he cannot declare about her because their relationship is not official yet and that she is surely not the artist's son. Just so a misunderstanding does not happen. Lynn gets very tense and feels her heart dropped to her feet, but at the same time, she is happy because he expresses his feelings in front of all people. After this beautiful interview, our heroine goes to meet the brother of the deceased assistant because he is the one who called her and hands her papers, proving that Lo is the one who brought them a building to buy their silence and that they had to agree because he could have finished them off normally. In the middle of the day, John goes to the office to Lo because he is taking his comfort too much in managing the company as if it were his. He is about to speak with him, but finds him giving him attitude and advising him that if he wants his sweetheart to stay alive on the face of the earth, he better silence her completely. He leaves him and goes to her house to check on her. At that time, it appears she is very tired and coming down with a cold because she is afraid to infect any of them. She tells them, "I will go to the hospital instead," but he refuses and offers her, "Stay at my house, and I will move here until your condition improves." She is touched by his care and that he sacrifices for her. 2 days later, she sends him a message that she is fine and will return home. As soon as she arrives, she finds him standing waiting for her and telling her, "I need a small favor from you. What do you think if we unite to take down Lo together?" She feels it is an irreplaceable opportunity and agrees with Yoon and Hyung that they publish the article after she executes her plan with John first. 3 days later, John and Sun are appearing on a live program to promote their new series. At that time, it appears on Sun that she is very tense because she wants to open the subject of Lo and what he did to them, but fear is controlling her strongly. John notices and tells her, "Never mind, leave it to me. I will handle this. Basically, I have an important announcement I need to let the audience know because a while ago, I and Sun made a contract with Lo, the well-known businessman, and unfortunately we discovered he exploits us to launder money. Plus, I have a guest. I want her to come in and talk too." At that time, Lynn enters, sits down, and explains the story from the start of the assistant who was taken down unjustly. As soon as Lo sees the program, he gets very angry, flips all things in front of him, and decides to turn the topic to his advantage. He appears in front of the media in a wheelchair on the basis that from too much injustice, poor guy, all this happened to him. This makes public opinion turn against Lynn because they already decided she is involved with John, and she exploited the fame of his series to come out and talk about something concerning her and take the spotlight that she is, the journalist carving in rock to reveal the truth. This is aside from the fact that all this affects John's image and makes all companies contracted with him cancel contracts suddenly. And there is no work anymore. Surely there are debts, so he is forced to sell his car. At this time, Lynn feels guilt because she is the cause of all that is happening. Plus, they did not focus at all on the part she wanted to convey and latched onto her relationship with John. So she decides to travel for work, to cover a war zone for a period, because this is the only way she can cancel the rumor of their relationship. The next day, she takes John, and they spend a whole day together. Before she leaves, she gives him the shock that she will travel. He gets very annoyed and tells her, "How do you take a decision like this without returning to me?" She makes him understand that any words now will not change anything, and this is the only solution in front of her. He tries to understand her position and informs her that whatever, the period you will stay, I will wait for you anyway. At that time, the world returns to smile at him because the last few episodes of his series make the viewership numbers skyrocket, and this puts him and the series in another place. Plus, Hung publishes the news containing all details of his brother's disasters in the newspaper, so the whole truth appears. Finally, he manages to retrieve his company. He also gets a script for an American series. But in the midst of all this, all that matters to him is that Lynn returns because he misses her very much. At this time, we find Lynn in the hospital because she was injured in her leg and all her things were lost. When they bring her the mobile, she opens it immediately to send to John that she will finally return on the 23rd. As soon as they meet, he feels he cannot believe himself that she is standing in front of him really. He tells her, "Promise me you will not stay away for all this period again." As for Sun, she decides to retire from the field completely and see something else to do. At that time, we find Hung going out with Yun and their son, giving her the marriage certificate because they finally got married. married and also registered his son under his name. Thus, the events of our series finished. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe.